She said it without the faintest tremor in her voice. No hesitation, no flicker of doubt. Her eyes locked on mine, steady and cold as stone. I only respect people I love, she murmured evenly. And you're not one of them. Something shifted inside me in that instant. Not fury, not the urge to shout or slam a door, but an eerie quiet that washed through me like someone had flicked off a switch. I smiled faintly, gave her a nod, and excused myself to the kitchen. She thought her words had pierced me, that I'd stew in the wound she carved. What she didn't know was that she'd just signed the end of her stay under my roof. We had been married 6 years. 6 years of me giving her steadiness, a home, the kind of comfort her reckless youth had denied her. She once called me safe. I thought that was her way of saying I was her anchor. In reality, it was her polite substitute for boring. The truth had been there all along if I'd bothered to really see it. The way her phone always landed face down when I entered the room. The perfume lingering on her skin, one I never bought. The nights she claimed exhaustion, yet somehow had endless energy for everyone but me. But infidelity wasn't the real betrayal. Contempt was. She looked at me not as a husband, not even as a man, but as furniture. Useful, dependable, invisible. And contempt corrodes deeper than cheating ever could. I didn't confront her. That would have handed her power. Instead I watched. I listened. I collected. Bank statements, call logs, password resets. She thought I was burying myself in work, but in reality, I was quietly mapping the blueprint of her exit. First the house, mortgage, deed, utilities, all in my name alone. She contributed nothing but acted like she owned half. I let her keep that illusion. Second, the car. Registered and insured under me. She called it ours. It never was. Third, her comforts, credit cards, subscriptions, joint accounts, all under my control, feeding her life of convenience. She never realized how utterly dependent she was. But she would. Piece by piece, I set it all in place. Then one evening while she was out laughing with her friends, I packed her clothes. Neatly folded into black suitcases, no malice in my hands, just clinical precision. Afterward, I changed every lock, reset every spare key. My home became a fortress against her return. Her phone buzzed on the counter. A text flashed. "When can I see you again?" From a number I didn't recognize. I didn't bother to care. I left it glowing there, a confession without words. Next came the phone calls. The bank. Cancel the cards, close the joint accounts, freeze the access. Oxygen cut from her fire. Then her father. A man who had always suspected her recklessness, but never voiced it. My tone was calm, deliberate. "Pick her up tonight." He paused only a second before replying. "Understood." She came back just before 10. Heels clicking against the driveway, keys ready in hand. She tried the lock, but it resisted. Confusion painted across her face. She rang the bell. I opened the door, the light behind me spilling onto the porch. Her suitcases sat stacked neatly at my back. "What is this?" she demanded. I repeated her own words, quiet, deliberate. "I only respect people I love. And you're not one of them." Her lips parted, then closed again. No excuses came, no frantic denials. Just silence heavier than any confession. Headlights swept across the driveway. Her father's car waited, engine humming, his silhouette unmoving. Judgment without a word. She tried to step inside, reclaim what she thought was hers, but the doorway stopped her. My voice stayed calm, my hand gesturing to the luggage. "Everything you need is right there. Everything you thought was yours never was." Her chest rose, fell. Fury burned in her eyes, but she had no footing. She knew it. "You can't do this," she whispered, desperate. I leaned closer, my voice for her ears alone. "I already did." Her father stepped from the car, silent as stone. She dragged her suitcases across the porch, heels scraping, her pride fracturing with each step. No one spoke. I shut the door softly behind her, the sound final, the closing chapter. I stood in the stillness of the house, the echo of her fading. Some men would have felt sorrow, others rage. I felt only clarity. Love is not ownership. Respect is not negotiable. She had stripped me of both long before I stripped her of comfort. Revenge wasn't loud or bloody. It was exact, like a surgeon's blade cutting clean. And in that silence, I realized something sharp and simple. She had been right all along. Respect is only for those we love. And I finally loved myself enough to reclaim mine. When people ask where she went, I don't explain. I just tell them she left, which is true. I just made sure she had no alternative. No police, no arguments, no begging, no chaos. Just one night where her illusions dissolved, and everything she thought she owned slid back into its rightful place. Closure came quietly. The absence of her perfume in the hallway. The silence of a phone no longer buzzing. The home restored to what it always was, mine.